Sakakawea is the true Wild West at 300,000 acres. It's not a vast fishery, it's more accurately described as sprawling. Guys talk about, well, it's a wind-driven fishery, you just gotta fish the points. The problem is there's thousands of points, thousands of creek arms that you can dive into. You have these giant bluffs and these coal veins, and the whole landscape is uniquely beautiful.
Missouri River impoundment, it's ginormous. There is literally hundreds and hundreds of miles of shoreline.
It's so cool because you can catch fish literally anywhere, but it's so frustrating because you can catch fish literally anywhere.
You know, it could literally be one on any point, and there's hundreds of them.
It's wild. You know, we're in the West.
You see horses, buffalo, antelope, deer, pheasants, grouse, I mean, you name it. It's like you're out on the prairie. It's amazing.
Life I've barely spoken. Your words have been so broken. I've been under your hypnosis. Why did I sip that potion? I'm so done with holy ghosting. My birth, it is an omen. Lay me down up in the ocean until you see no motion. Right now I can barely focus. I'm showing no emotion.
This is the final qualifier of the season, which means the top 40 pros will make it to the year-end championship. Lots of guys are stressed out knowing they have to finish well to make the championship. Some guys, championship is already out of the picture. It's time to swing and just try and win the tournament.
You really ain't ready now. You haters just in the crowd. But still I just look around. Know you with me now, where you with me now?
Is that coffee?
Yes, it is. What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
You against coffee?
No.
It's been a disappointing but not surprising sophomore season for Owen. This is his chance to sort of redeem himself. This is completely his body of water. It's the closest we'll be to his home, and it completely suits his style of fishing. This is a chance to redeem the season.
That was a good one. We are just kind of looking at some new stuff today, kind of closer to where we're taking off, just so I have some areas I can hit if I still have time when I make my way back. I'm actually fishing it a lot like how I fish peck. I came into this, I'm like, I'm just gonna kind of fish it like I do peck, and sure enough, it started working. So it's what I've been kind of doing all week, just point hopping. It's been working out for me. It's pretty simple.
Even though things haven't gone as planned, Owen has not given up on the belief that he can qualify for the championship. He knows it's a tall task. He knows I'm probably gonna have to top 5, maybe even win this tournament, but he's also confident enough I can do that. That's feasible on this body of water.
Bang! That's a stud. 27.5, almost 8. 27, it's almost 8. That's a big fish. Stay here. I'll come back for you in a few days. Boom. Knew that was gonna be a big fish. That was a big mark, wasn't it?
We're on beautiful Lake Sakakwea, and I haven't been here for a few years. But I mean, literally within the first couple of hours, I remember this is maybe my favorite place to walleye fish. To give you an idea, like I'm on the last week of a 2-month road trip, which includes 8 tournaments. So basically every weekend for 2 months, I haven't been home. And last night I fished till like 9 o'clock. And it's not being hard-headed or anything. It's literally just that much fun to adventure out here. I've been catching quality fish like 4.5 to 6 pounders here and there, kind of everywhere but nowhere. They're definitely very well fed. They're tough to make bite, but that should be an advantage for guys like Dewey and I and Dusty. You gotta make them react. I don't know if you're into like perfect dinner-sized walleyes, but there is a couple big ones left here. Can I get a pliers from you? Oh, you hear that noise? Tony's coming up from his trail cam photos to put his forward-facing sonar unit in the back. When I finally arrived and I started talking to my friend that we were staying with, he's like, well, the water went up 10 feet. And they have this phenomenon called the July rise, when a lot of the snow in the mountains in Montana melt and eventually make their way into Lake Sakakwea. So it's almost like a complete reversal of the season generally in July when water rises, and all those fish that were in shallow to spawn and creek arms and stuff that came back out now go back in. And that's what was going on when we first got here.
The second to last day of practice, John goes to check his shallow weed bite and the fish are gone. This is kind of an alarm type deal. But what they're noticing is there's been several hot days with no breeze, but even more importantly, they can visually see where the lake level has dropped. When the water level drops, general rule of thumb is the fish are pulling back out deep.
I don't think it's getting off. 27.5, maybe 5.5 pounds. These are the money fish right here. So you take 5 of those, and the Max Wilsons of the world are gonna have to come catch you. It was like all out, boom, the whole lake caught up for the entire year, and we're at straight up summertime fishing. That one plays the game. I figured out that all the walleyes swam out of the bays. But good thing is we know where they went. There's too many boats around to tell you the whole story. We're on a very popular community spot. Dustin whacked him here this morning. So we were bite chasing and we couldn't catch one. Figures. But yeah, now it's your turn to go with him and learn all his secrets and then report back to me at camp later when nobody's around.
This place, you know, fishes my style. You know, jumping around spots, rod in hand, you know, casting at them. So I was excited. I was really excited to come here. That's what it looks like when they're not biting the best. You just throw everything at them. You know, sometimes I veer off and I try to do things that I'm not necessarily good at, or try to do what John and Dewey are doing. So finally at the end of the week, I put on the brakes and was like, I need to do what I did last year and just do my thing, do what I'm good at. My first 2 casts, I think I had a 22 and a 28. And then like, there's parts of the day that make you want to rethink tournament fishing. And then you'll crack a couple good ones I mean, it's good, you know, we're just practicing. It's just, they're just not biting the greatest. It's a lot of following and not a lot of commitment.
Dusty's tried some of the same patterns that John and Dewey are on, and he's having some success, but he's not quite as confident. He's feeling more comfortable fishing up, making the long run, the 50+ mile run to the Van Hook arm. That's where he's finding his success, and it's not surprising because everybody has their own unique styles, and John and Dewey are almost clones of each other, where Dusty's his own fisherman, and he's gonna fish to his strengths.
What the heck? I don't know if this is a walleye, but. Let's see here. Don't try. Right in the snout. That's a chunky one. Kind of like me, short and thick. I think that guy just waypointed me. Oh well. Take a little weight, but I bet it's close to 4. Dang, dude. 4.9. 4.10. Depends on. That was smooth. It depends on what time of day, man. I think you want to try to get a 4 or 5 pound average. And if you get a couple of, you know, 27, 28 inch fish, that would be ideal. But the way my week is going, I think you'd be dumb to not throw that in. But I think our rules are we can only keep 5. And when you get your 5, you're done. So, man, I'm not a big gambler. I think a nice fish like that where it's pretty close to 5, I'd probably have to throw it in. If it was your first fish, I don't know. I probably would keep it.
Got you that time, you little silly goober. Dude, it's a giant. I have hooked this fish 4 times now. I am in 89 feet of water. It's a catfish. I've been chasing a catfish for 20 minutes. That was so lame. Jig and crawler, everything eats it. Yep. And everything drops it after having it in their mouth for a second. That's exactly what's going on right now. They grab it and they drop it. Sakakawea is your typical Missouri River reservoir. Very, very long, very deep. Lots of different nuances to it. You know, you got deep timber, you got main lake points, you got weeds, you got river channel, you got creeks. You know, on my first day of practice, I had 30 pounds out of a creek in 4 feet of water. You know, so there's just so many different factors, and you know, this lake, the water level changes so much. So every time you come here, it's a little bit different. I do what I like. No one gonna tell me what to do with my life. You know, every day it was something different. You know, it was the same type of, you know, what we were fishing. It just, you know, you had to figure out where that bait went, and it was very wind dependent. You know, the wind would push the bait and the fish would follow the bait, you know. So one day a point would be loaded with bigs, next day was a dead sea, you know. So you just kind of had to be able to relocate it, have enough spots, and you know, run your rotation and get on the right fish.
Fit check, fakers wanna get that. Take a selfie, be the drama, be the content. All of the followers, all of the fans, showing the haters I'm more than a trend.
If you've seen any sort of common denominator the last 2 years, Max loves fishing with a jig and a crawler. He's sort of establishing himself as Mr. Crawler, especially in the midsummer, late summer period. And if you've seen a common thread here, the bite has been strong. We're definitely not on Green Bay anymore.
Dude, what in the actual hell is going on with these stupid fish today? Oh, I'm sorry I yelled. He came back. Sorry I yelled. Sorry I yelled at you. You came back, and thank you. I know. Shouldn't have yelled at you. But you were being dumb. Deserved it. I'm sorry. Look at her. She's so pretty. Dude, you're gonna be on tour level gold. Look, that's you. Twitch, twitch. All of a sudden he just latched on. I'm like, oh, you came back. You totally redeemed yourself. Sakakawea. Puppy dog. Oh no! No! 12 pound. Forgot I went to 12 pound. It was 12 pound, not 14. That's how you catch and release, folks. I meant to do that. That was actually a new technique that we're working on. State-of-the-art technique on releasing fish. This is a little bit heavier than I want to. I'm gonna try and see if I can get away with it, but this is a 3/8. I'm trying to get down to those fish fast, but when it gets like this, dropping your size too will help your profile. So if this doesn't get bit, I'll drop down to a 1/4, so forth, see what I can do. Getting down to them fast to be efficient, but also as light as possible. So you wanna find that happy medium and play with it to get as light as you can possibly go and as heavy as you possibly can go. Yeah, so this is the screw that holds the trolling motor onto the bracket. Yeah, and she sheared. Second time, I did it at Red Wing too. I want to be a professional fisherman. It's super fun. I mean, granted, I do use this more than I use my main motor, so. Do you want to get stuck in hail again today? No? You don't? Me and Adam, for the folks at home, because Adam was too scared to bring the camera out, we fished in golf ball size hail yesterday. And I caught a 7-pounder while doing it. Ain't no hail gonna stop me! Only racing against the clock with a storm, not a big deal. The bolt fell off while we were running. Trolling motor fell off. Trying to make it in before the storm. Had to take the bolt out. Jerry rigged it. Realized I had an extra bolt. Changed it, fixed it. And now I can go have steak, drinks, do it all again tomorrow. And Brett Carlson said I don't do well under pressure. That's an Armageddon coming at me. I just fixed my boat. Trolling motor almost fell off. And now we're gonna make it back in for steaks, Brett. Handles pressure great, thank you. Just kidding, I love you, Brett. Oh, that's really close. I don't like that. Look at that! We got tornadic activity out on the plains here, folks! I saw that on Twister. You look to your left, there's a tornado.
Yeah, I'll take 2.
Live bait, split shot, and a nightcrawler.
The Missouri River is 100% Dewey's wheelhouse. It's his home. He lives on Lake Oahe and Pier. This is 3.5, 4 hours upstream of Oahe, but these reservoirs still fish more or less the same. There's some differences in forage, but to say that Dewey's comfortable on the Missouri River, on Sakakawea specifically, is not an understatement.
Dead zone. Like, this is all rock. Like, it's not shale at all.
If someone asked you, like, what is the Missouri River? Yeah, if someone came up to you and was like, I don't know anything about the Missouri River. If you could sum it up for somebody, like, what would you say?
I'd say magical. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. It's literally, I get asked all the time, what's your favorite body of water? You've been to all these, destination places. What's your favorite body of water? And honestly, for me, it's Lake Oahe. Yeah, it's in my backyard, but it's super special. It's super unique. There's so many different bites. The size of fish are absolutely unbelievable right now. Each lake or pool, I guess, whatever you want to call it, of the Missouri River, from Sakakawea to Lake Hawaii, Lake Sharp, Lake Francis Case, all of them fish very similar, but sizes of fish vary greatly, and then also the bait fish that the walleyes are targeting is definitely different in each one of them pools. But you can definitely take little things that you learn from each one of them pools and apply it to the next one.
So I met Dewey when he was young in Pier, and met him out fishing on the water, and I gave him my number, and he goes, "I want to be on your team someday."
All right, I'm here with Dewey Gelb. We're out here, stop number 4, Lake Sakakwea.
And he goes, "What do I got to do?" I said, "Win some tournaments," and yeah, he did that. He won the Governor's Cup. He proved himself in South Dakota as a young angler. And finally he stayed persistent, and he called and said, "Are you guys ready for me?" And I said, "Yeah, we're ready."
They basically invited me. They're like, "Hey, if you want to fish a tournament, you're more than welcome to come up and stay with us and help us out or whatever." So,
and he joins the NWT just as a jackpotter to fish this one tournament. But it's also the first time he's met, at that time, his future teammates. John Hoyer was a co-angler, Dusty was fishing pro, Bill was fishing pro, and the other member of that team at the time was Corey Sprinkle.
that was 2017 in Lake Sakakwea.
And Dewey won it. So that's where it all kind of started.
Talking about Dwayne Helm, along with Brent is a co-angler here, and it looks like they got a huge basket of fish. 1.90. Dwayne reclaims the lead in the first place here. Awesome job.
You know, I guess when it's meant to be, it's meant to be. When it's your time, it's your time. Fishing against all these guys is just seeing them in person is something I'll never forget.
$86,555.
Tournament grade. What I do? Whatever. 5-pounder. Don't care. I didn't get hooked. We got one. This week has been pretty fun. Pretty much no matter where you go, you catch fish. And earlier in the week, we were on a little bit different pattern. It was definitely a lot different, and we thought we had some things figured out, but the water is dropping. I think it's dropped like 18 inches or something like that over the last week or week and a half. So a lot of them fish that were up shallow are definitely starting to pull out. And we had a couple really good spots that we were kind of banking on. Then things really fizzled out, but luckily we found a couple things. We figured out a couple things in some other areas that are maybe even better. The biggest thing in this tournament is you want to know like what you can keep, because we can only keep 5 fish. We don't have any to play with, so once they go into the live well, that's it. It's a nice one. See if we can do a little bit better landing job on this one. Come on. Maybe it is a spot. They're nice ones, they're just not very many. That'd be a kicker. 5.5. The ones are built right. Maybe they're just eating that much smelt and they're getting bigger every day.
The last time Tour Level Gold saw Dewey, he had just taken a 0 on Green Bay, and basically his Angler of the Year chances are gone. This is really juxtaposed with where he is now after winning the Governor's Cup.
21-68, your new leaders, 22-45.
So even though we didn't see him, Dewey's back. The last day of practice, Dewey even finds a few more productive spots near takeoff.
6'2".
These are spots that are holding fish that are 5-6 pounds. It's looking even better.
We got one.
5'2", geez. Hopefully we get 5 of this size tomorrow.
Just bite it.
Another nice 26 5-pounder.
So it's the last day of practice, and we sort of had a call an audible earlier in the week. We were lodging in Garrison, which is where the tournament's out of, and a lot of the fish, a lot of the good fishing is way out west, and so we actually switched lodging, and we've been staying over by Pouch Bay, which is about over an hour and a half drive by car just to get there. And so I've spent my whole practice down there. Well, I wanted to make sure I left one day to stay close and just kind of see. So we're I don't know, maybe 7 miles from takeoff here. We're really gonna have to get them good today to even think about spending the tournament in here. So it's been a fun week, man. I don't know if I've ever set the hook that many times in 1 week in my life. Ooh. Yeah, he did. Call him 24 and a half. I don't know, 5 of them you'd actually be doing pretty good, but there are bigger ones. But it's a good start anyway. Not bad.
Bill's one of those guys where he makes the championship every single season, and right now he's right on the border. He needs a good tournament to make it. While he's not thinking about the championship per se in the back of his mind, he knows he has to have a good tournament. And so far, practice would lead us to believe that's coming.
There we go. That's a good one. 3 of them down there, about the same size. There we go. That new Berkeley hybrid jig in there looks pretty nice. But he's a little bigger than that. He's 23 and a half. So yeah, those are the tough size ones. Those are like kind of the ones you don't want to catch, really. 4-6. So, you know, there's your 20-pound bag right there. 5 of them. Not bad. I got the Ranger one. I don't think you could hurt that one.
Oh, he'll figure out a way.
Anybody need a cold beer out of R2D2?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
That ice was put in there on, well, I did add 1 bag, but the ice from last Thursday. So the ice, there's ice from almost a week ago.
That is impressive.
What's that for?
It's for hauling cattle semen, if you ever need to do that. Because you don't want that to get warm.
Is it really? Yeah. That's crazy.
All right, where's your clean?
Going into this event, I found myself from the outside looking in again, just like last year. It was like a carbon copy of last year. We're going in the last event. I was, in points, I was outside the top 40 cut. So it was definitely some added pressure, but I tried not to think about it. I really didn't. I tried to I knew we were on good enough fish where it's like just have a solid tournament. If you catch half of what you think you're gonna make the championship.
Hey!
Alright, so update from yesterday. I thought I fixed the issue when I put the new pin in. Well, when the trolling motor came apart, there's an aluminum piece in there that allows it to lock in. That thing bent, broke, and I can't lock in a trolling motor right now. So I went and bought a new trolling motor, Well, the new trolling motors have a larger shaft, and my live scope mount doesn't have long enough screws, so it doesn't fit on there. So we're trying to track down the right screws, get on there so we can live scope. And we got 15 minutes till the rules meeting. So, another day in the life of tournament angling. Everything's gonna be all right. Jerome's got me.
Welcome to Garrison, North Dakota. Final event of the qualifying season for the 2024 Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's National Walleye Tour presented by Progressive.
Folks at home, Tour Level Gold. You know how much I hate stinger hooks. If they didn't do a good enough job of showing the stresses of Lake Erie, the only stressor was tying these stupid little trebles on some fluorocarbon to put on my jig and fluke because they were too big. But the bad part of that story is then I also went on to win the tournament, so now I feel like I have to do it again. And it sucks. Bad.
Call you Jeff Gordon. Wasn't that his number?
Yeah.
Whoever executes, not only from a fish catching standpoint, but also from a decision making standpoint, is going to separate himself from the rest. When that first fish comes, 4.3. Do you keep it? Do you put it back? 3.7 comes after 3 hours of not catching a fish. Do you keep it? Or do you put it back?
Absolutely, yeah. No, Owen's my pick to win this. And I know Owen well enough, and he's confident, but he's not saying it. And the reason why I'm so confident for Owen, so this year his biggest issue was everything we fish, he doesn't have the experience, right? The kid is young, he's 20 years old. He's one of the best fishermen I've met, and what he lacks is experience. Well, this bite is exactly like Fort Peck. He doesn't get concerned if the fish aren't in the same spot every day. Like, he just goes hunting. He's the dark horse in this one. I would not surprise me if he won it. And that's God, I hope he wins it, because we need him in that championship with us. I'm calling it right now. Top 10 at least for Owen this week.
All 6 of our guys are on pretty similar but strong patterns. It's going to be very interesting to see which one of these emerge, because it could be any of them. They're all around winning fish.